Well, we are approaching the climax of the trading week, and as usual, the TV team will pause to take a look at how events affect currencies in the last edition of Targets in Focus. I'm Monica Gibson, and I'm joined down the line by Valentin Marinov to hear his 1, 6 and 12-month outlook for some of your favourite currency pairs. Valentin, the euro held steady against the US dollar on Friday, hovering near 5-week highs on the back of Draghi's comments. The Fed's next meeting is in less than 2 weeks, and some traders feel the central bank could reduce its bond buying scheme before the new year. US jobless rate hit its lowest since 2008. So do you think this will help the dollar's recovery story, which is now in its second year, to continue into 2014?
Yeah, euro-dollar remains driven by two conflicting trends. On the one hand, we have the positive data surprises out of the US that could fuel expectations of early taper and support the dollar. In this regard, the upcoming payroll report could indeed work in that way. At the same time, however, we have a persistent safe haven bid for the euro as market uncertainty lingers, fueled by fears about Fed taper. And in addition, the ECB is still perceived as more less bite when it comes to more aggressive easing. All that could limit any downside for euro-dollar for now, and indeed could keep euro-dollar generally supported. The outlook for the currency pair could turn decidedly negative in coming months as the ECB eases aggressively further and the Fed tapers and ultimately exits QE in 2014. Citi economists expect that the ECB will introduce negative deposit rates and another LTRO by next June. In addition, we expect the Fed to taper by next March and indeed exit QE by September 2014. All that could push euro-dollar back closer to 130 over more medium term.
In the absence of any significant news this morning and in the shadow of the NFP data, Euro-Pound has edged lower following better than expected UK Halifax house price data. Now, in terms of central bank policy, it seems a battle of hawk versus dove, but how will that impact the euro-sterling moving forward?
Yeah, we remain bearish euro-sterling, and we expect the cross to head towards 0.82 and ultimately 0.80 over 6-12-month horizon. We think that in this regard, the diverging policy outlook for the ECB, which is turning increasingly dovish, and indeed the BOE, which is turning increasingly hawkish, should keep the cyclical headwinds for the cross firmly in place for now. We also think that gilts continue to be an attractive asset class when it comes to reserve diversification away from the euro, but also the dollar, and all that could keep sterling supported. We continue to expect more downside for euro-sterling from here.
The ECB lowered their inflation outlook for the bloc over the next 2 years. Now, with all of the deflationary pressures also being experienced in Switzerland, what is your short, mid and long-term outlook for the euro-Swiss franc? Are you expecting any surprises from the SNB next week?
I think that the euro-Swiss may struggle to perform in the very near term as market uncertainty about Fed taper could support safe haven currencies, and in this regard, Swiss may stand to benefit even more than the euro. In addition, the Swiss economy, the economic data has been generally resilient, and the Swiss inflation staged a surprise return in November. With all that in mind, we think that the chances for aggressive SNB measures to cheapen the franc further have abated considerably, so no surprises are expected from the SNB to come next week, and subsequently we think that the Swiss franc may indeed outperform both euro and the dollar in the next few days. Over more longer term, we expect euro-Swiss to head higher. The currency pair still trades well below fair value, which we estimate to be 130. We think that more easing by the SNB cannot be excluded in coming months, especially if deflation returns and on the back of stronger Swiss franc. And that, together with improving market risk sentiment after Fed taper, could mean that euro-Swiss could head towards 125 over medium term and indeed 130 over longer term.
Valentin, thank you so much for your time today. Well, viewers, that's all from me for this Friday. Darren McDermott will be bringing you a full roundup of the NFP report, so please do click back for that. Have a great weekend.